I'm Kirtika Kain, and this is my new exhibition, Mimetic Mass. I initially wanted to capture the feeling of weightedness, compression, and density through materials. But materials have so many contradictions. The materials at the center of the show, copper, wax, and tar, are ancient. They're rigid and uncompromising. Yet when they're melted or etched, they become so soft and porous. The title for the show was taken from mimesis at midpoint, which was a concept introduced during the Black Arts movement by a collective named Afrocobra. It describes this center point between absolute abstraction and representation, where the art is charged with the politics and urgency of a social movement. I'm interested in how abstraction can contain Dalit resistance and the history of caste-oppressed communities. Dalits have historically been referred to as untouchable in India's caste system. I see abstraction as a container for the unspoken, the contradictory, the human and the political. Caste is 3,000 years old, and my reference points for abstraction are just as ancient. They're embedded in the earth. Materials have a memory. They've witnessed history, and in this case, a history that has not been formally archived. My work has always considered the space that Dalit artists like myself operate in, how we expand our visual language and respond to the violence of caste, which as a Dalit is difficult to speak about. I think also in this work, the role of the imagination is important, not as fiction, but as an act of remembering, sensing, and creating what is absent or what was never documented. There is a repetition of surface, an imperfect mimicry throughout the exhibition. Impressions and molds of works have been cast and repeated to create new surfaces, and I've been using a lot of printmaking and sculpture. The large structure, titled Midnight, I created using silicon molds of other paintings in the exhibition, filling them with tar and drying them on hessian. I trained as a printmaker, and there are materials and practices of printmaking in the show, combined with sculptural processes of melting, casting, and etching. Tar has been stretched and dried. Copper has been etched and oxidized into hues of bright greens, blues, pinks, and yellows. Silkscreen mesh has been burned and exposed, and wax has been melted to a liquid and re-solidified. The unique properties of each material has led each process and the creation of each work. The main materials in the exhibition, tar, copper, and wax, have been used by humans for thousands of years. Copper especially has been so complicated to work with. I've etched it in a process that is entirely unpredictable. Wax and tar are the same. They are such interesting materials, and a lot of this show was allowing them to speak.